permit so I can serve you differently.
Good morning. I want to welcome everyone to the Senate Transportation Committee meeting here. My clock says it's time for us to get started, even though the clock on the wall gives us another couple of minutes. It does appear that we have a quorum and we're duly constituted to do business today. I would ask all the members and the guests in here today to please silence your cell phones. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Senator Berg. Present. Senator Carpenter. Senator Clemens. Senator Elkins.
Present.
Senator Smith. Present. Senator Storm.
Here.
Senator Wheeler.
Here.
Senator Williams. Senator Wilson.
Here.
Chair Higdon. Chair Douglas.
Present. Thank you so very much. Again, we do have a quorum. We're duly constituted to do business. First of all, do we have any introduction of guests? Anyone who would like to introduce any guests? Senator Storm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have with me today Ed Hyde here from my hometown. I'd like this committee to make him welcome.
Thank you very much. Now, before we get started, I want to say that Senator Higdon is attending a family emergency, so I really want us to extend our prayers for him, his family, and wish he and the family a very, very, very speedy recovery. With that being said, there's a little bit of change in the schedule today. Oh, I'm sorry, Senator Smith, did you have? So, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the body if I could, in a point of sort of personal privilege, to say a special prayer for my daughter, Kippy. She's had some stuff kind of pop up. It's been very worrisome for us, but I'd like to ask this body to have special thoughts and prayers for my daughter, Kippy, today, if they could.
Thank you. That will be done. That will be done, Senator Smith. Now, there's going to be a little bit of change in the schedule today. I'm going to ask Senator Storm to come to the table with his people. Senator Storm will be talking about Senate Bill 291, an act relating to recyclers and declaring an emergency. If you would, for the record, of course, Senator Storm, we know you, but we would still ask you to introduce yourself so we can get it on the record, and your guests, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Brandon Storm, 21st Senate District.
Rebecca Hartsoe, Babbage co-founder for River Metals Recycling and the Recycling Association at large.
Yes, I'm Tyler Campbell. I'm the Director of State Government Affairs for Charter Communications.
Thank you so very much. I will leave the floor and the order to you, Senator Storm.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Last session, this body voted on Senate Bill 64, which basically created critical infrastructure when it relates to broadband, telephone lines, things of that nature, because we've seen an increase occurrence of theft of copper wiring and such throughout the Commonwealth. KYTC also joined that effort because they have been victims of massive copper thefts throughout the state. And so what we did, we passed that bill last session to make it a felony if you steal these kind of materials. What we've done here with Senate Bill 291 is take the framework of Louisville's Critical Infrastructure Task Force that was established in 2024. And we're trying to take that statewide because, as Senator Wheeler knows, in Pikeville, it's the #1 county in the entire United States that's a victim of copper thefts, Mr. Chairman. So what we've done with this Senate bill, we've worked with these partners, and we understand that there's going to be potential bumps in the road. We understand that. We appreciate that, but I do appreciate them working together with me. And we've created a licensing and oversight system here, and we're also going to require that recyclers obtain licensing through the Kentucky Motor Vehicle Commission. Though that entity will oversee the regulations, they will oversee the licensing, they'll oversee the compliance. It also requires that LEAD's online database will be utilized, and that links all law enforcement entities statewide to this database. The bill strengthens, again, the previous legislation that we've worked on to prevent copper theft, and at this time I would defer to my colleagues. Ladies first.
I certainly want to thank the chairman for his work and the collaboration. Thank the committee for hearing the bill. have to say that the bill does present significant changes, some challenges for our operators, and some costs associated with that in terms of the operational procedures we're going to have to do. But we also remain a committed partner to solving this crisis, and it's what's become a public safety issue.
I just want to echo Senator Storm and thank you and members of the General Assembly for your past work in placing telecommunications equipment as part of critical infrastructure. That is certainly a big piece of the puzzle, and we see this Senate Bill 291 as the next stage in that process. Charter Communications, also known as Spectrum to many of you, that's our brand for our internet. We're the largest provider of broadband across the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and we serve hundreds of thousands of Kentucky homes and businesses, including critical institutions such as hospitals, schools, first responders, and small businesses that depend upon connectivity every day. And to echo Rebecca just now, this is a public safety issue. When these things are stolen, services can go down, critical services can go down to many of these institutions. So it certainly is a public safety and general welfare issue. Just as one example, earlier just this year, at the beginning of the year, down in the Senator's District, I believe, down as local news outlets reported, down in Laurel and Estill counties, a thief stole over 1,500 feet of copper cable, which directly took down a Kentucky internet service provider. It left customers on one side of the road in the dark and disrupted internet service for customers throughout the region. And so Senate Bill 291 represents a lot of carefully crafted negotiation and work on behalf of Senator Storm and the partners that came to the table. This legislation is supported by a large swath of Kentucky's telecommunications and internet service providers. And so we just feel that this bill lays out clear lines of authority, strong enforcement mechanisms, and greater accountability. And the statewide licensing framework with the backgrounds, annual renewals, and inspection authority, it's going to help ensure that bad actors can exploit gaps that are in the current system.
Motion on the bill.
Motion on the bill. I hear a motion on the bill from Senator Wheeler. Second from Senator Wilson. I hear a motion on the bill from Senator Wheeler. I didn't have my microphone on. And a second from Senator Wilson. As I look up and down. All right. I'll have the secretary please call the roll.
Senator Berg. Senator Carpenter. Senator Clemens. Senator Elkins. Senator Smith. Senator Storm. Senator Wheeler.
Mr. Chairman, explain my aye vote.
Go ahead.
Well, I don't know that the prize mentioned by Senator Storm's one I necessarily wanted to win for having the most copper theft in the United States in my home county, but I do want to say that I appreciate his work. It is a very serious problem, and when you have more and more kids, obviously internet is just a lifeline in modern education, and this really, in essence, not only harms businesses, it harms children. So I do appreciate your efforts to combat this, and hopefully we can report back after this bill passes that maybe I can fall off the top spot. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Senator Williams. Senator Wilson.
Aye.
Chair Higdon. Chair Douglas.
Aye.
You're good.
8. Okay. We have 8 ayes. This Senate Bill 291 is reported favorably with the expression of opinion that the same should pass. Senator Storm, I also just wanted to mention that with the conversation you and I had yesterday, you educated me in terms of the fact that there was a lot of theft going on where people thought they were stealing copper. And in fact, there was not much, or there was very little copper, and so they're disrupting services as well. And that's extremely important to the people here in the Commonwealth who are having their services disrupted really for no real gain. So I want to thank you and your team very much this morning for bringing this bill, and we will be hearing this bill in the Senate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
The second bill we'll be listening to while Senator Wilson is making his way down is Senate Bill 94. It's an act relating to motor vehicle dealers, and again, it is sponsored by Senator Wilson. So, Senator Wilson, if you would, just simply identify yourself for the record, you and your guests, and once you've done that, I understand that there is a committee sub, and we'll talk about that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Wilson, State Senator from District 32. Bowling Green, the fastest growing area in the state of Kentucky. So proud to be here and represent this bill today. And my guest is?
Mr. Chairman, Ethan Witt with Cornerstone Government Affairs, representing the Alliance for Automotive Innovation.
I want to welcome both of you gentlemen here. Again, there is a committee sub, and it's all the members should have that sub in their. Okay, I hear a motion on the sub in a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This has been a real labor in cooperation, collaboration, and love, I will say. We are definitely probably number 3 in the United States for being an automotive manufacturing state. So we are a manufacturing state, but every one of us also have auto dealers, which are very important in that process of supply and sales. And so this is a collaboration between the OEMs, manufacturers, and the dealers, working together to come to an agreement, and that's what the sub is. It's every point that everybody's had an agreement on. And I know Toyota is represented here today. They did send you a letter. That has been taken care of with this committee sub. The Alliance represents all of the OEMs, all the manufacturers, and they have a statement that Ethan would like to read to start with.
Well, thank you, Senator Wilson. And Mr. Chair, just to share a bit from the Alliance. So the Alliance for Automotive Innovation represents automobile manufacturers and suppliers of automotive technology and components. And at this time, the Alliance does not have a position on the committee sub to Senate Bill 94 that's before you today. We also do not oppose the committee voting to adopt the sub and reporting this bill as amended if that's the will of the committee today. I do want to be clear that the Alliance does not speak for any individual members of the Alliance who may wish to consider other ways to improve this bill at a later time. And finally, I just want to say thanks to Senator Wilson. We spent a lot of time together working on this bill. So, Senator, thank you for your work. And we want to thank the Kentucky Automobile Dealers Association for their efforts in working with us to find a compromise on this important topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And if I could, I would like to bring 2 more people to the table as we begin our testimony.
That'll be fine, Senator Wilson.
And have them introduce themselves
Yes.
for the record.
Gentlemen, I need to have you both introduce yourselves for the record, please.
Good morning. My name is Jason Wilson. I'm the president of the Kentucky Auto Dealers Association.
And good morning.
Good morning. Ed Hyde. I'm the chairman of the Kentucky Auto Dealers Association, and I represent the dealers. So I'm also a dealer.
Thank you, gentlemen. You can proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I said, this started at the beginning of the session. I think we're on day 39, something like that. So we had everybody in the room to start with. We had our auto dealers, auto manufacturers. We did that several times. And also that opened up for everybody to be able to go back and forth to get to where we are at with the sub today that is before you in the committee. And so literally what Senate Bill 94 does, it amends Kentucky's motor vehicle franchise law to revise compensation to motor vehicle dealers for warranty and qualifying repair work. In the United States, I believe there were over 23 million recalls last year. And so this deals with recalls. It also deals with when you buy a car, you get a manufacturer's warranty on it, and they do all the work for these 2 issues. And so basically it establishes consistent and objective standards across brands to make sure that the dealer technician is fairly compensated. The bill ensures fair and timely reimbursement, stronger dealer protections, and creates a uniform process for labor time disputes resolution. And with that, if my guests would like to share, I'd let them go ahead.
Thank you, Senator Wilson. And I also would like to echo the sentiments of the ability of all of us to come together and work together that we can find agreeable language to move this forward. This is a difficult topic to navigate and can be very complicated. So to Senator Wilson's point, we met several times. I think we had 3 in-person meetings, umpteen Zoom meetings, and much back and forth, but we ultimately got to the place where we needed to be, where the auto dealers, most importantly the technicians that work for these auto dealers and the manufacturers recognize the fact that we need to fix a system that had problems, had outgrown the previous language in the sense of how complicated vehicles are now. It's a very different product today than it was, say, 10, 20 years ago. Technicians today have to be as much of capable software type technicians as well as auto technicians. So it really is a valued profession. It's one that we all recognize there are challenges with in keeping good technicians and finding the future technicians. It's not unique to Kentucky. It's a problem throughout the country. And the premise of this bill and what really the motivation to move this forward is to ensure we're compensating those technicians properly, to ensure that they're able to continue working long-term, and to also be consistent and competitive with our 7 neighboring states, which I'll say that the language that was put in here, there's nothing truly unique or different that is not in those other states. So we need to be competitive with our border states. We do not want to be losing technicians to other states because they have better laws in place and they can make more money doing factory work in another state, like say Ohio, versus what they could in Kentucky. So this is our attempt to create a balance, some fairness in the overall system, and take out the subjective language. Part of the problem before was there was so much subjective language. Reasonable is in the eye of the beholder. Now what we've been able to put into place is the fact that there are going to be very specific parts to this bill that take out that subjective language and makes it objective. Everything from how retail rates are moved forward in that the dealers will put forward 100 repair orders or 90 days. There's a formula, I guess is what I'm getting at, to move this forward that is a much more exact science than what we had today by having all this open language. And I would say, finally, to these committee members here, we've worked on a number of things through the years, everything from CAVIS and moving electronic titling and all the things we've worked on moving forward to past franchise systems. And we've all done amazing work together, and I appreciate all the efforts that you've had. To date, arguably, this may be the most important bill we have brought forward because it really addresses that technician compensation and the disparity between factory and warranty work and retail work. And we've got to make sure our technicians that really are the backbone of the dealerships and frankly what keeps Kentucky moving forward are taken care of and have a long-term viability and can grow in this industry. As I have, as a young one-time salesman selling Hondas, that's how I got into this industry. As someone, I got out of the Marine Corps, didn't know what to do, started selling cars and found a path forward. My counterpart here, also a former Marine, came out, started selling cars, and now he's a car dealer as well. This is an amazing business, and there's opportunities for everyone, but we have to make sure we have an environment for that growth, for that creativity, where people can grow in this industry and make it a long-term career. So for that, again, I thank you for your work. I appreciate your consideration of this most important bill, and thank you all for being here today.
Would you like to share?
I don't think I have anything to
You don't have anything to say?
Motion.
Well, I just want to say I'm honored to have 3 Marines sitting at the desk today. And I would just like to correct my brother from another mother, Jason Wilson, that's my brother's name, actually, is Jason Wilson, is that there is no former Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine. But, Mr. Chairman, that's the essentials of the bill. And if there are no questions, I would move passage as a member of the committee.
Motion on the bill.
Second.
I didn't hear those. Was who was first? Okay, Senator Storm, we have a first, and was that? And you got the second. Wheeler. Okay, Senator Wheeler gave us a second. I have a motion and a second on the bill. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Senator Berg. Senator Carpenter. Senator Clemens. Senator Elkins,
Aye.
Senator Smith, Senator Storm, Senator Wheeler, Senator Williams, Senator Wilson,
Aye.
Chair Higdon, Chair Douglas.
Aye. The bill is reported favorably. It passes 7-0, because we only have 7 people here, with expression and the opinion that the same should pass, and the committee substitute attached thereto. Gentlemen, I'm honored to have 3 Marines sitting in front of me, and I want to thank you all for your service to this country. We should never forget the sacrifices that not only you all, but your families have made. Thank you so very much for this presentation, and we hope to see you, Senator Wilson, in the Senate on the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
I hear a motion to adjourn. Thank you so very much, Senator Wheeler.